welcome back. For those of you that are confused right now, you should be, because it is Tuesday, and I am your storyteller, Dengle. Before we begin, a couple things. First and foremost, Cocia is running a little bit late. Hopefully, she will be with us shortly. So we see her. Secondly, if we cover anything in games that causes you to have any sort of mental or physical response that is not positive, by all means, take a step back, make sure you're okay before proceeding. And then finally, I know in the past that we have covered some things that been a bit touchy, and as a friendly reminder, if you run games like this, get consent from your players. Make sure that you know where their personal boundaries are, so you don't accidentally overstep, like we do here.
Not that we overstep.
So,
we don't overstep. That's what he meant to say. There have been some things in
yeah,
the past couple of games where the things are getting tense in the Coterie, but the people who things are getting tense between, we are taking time during and after the game to talk to each other and check in and make sure everything's okay.
yes. So, please do that. Please, preferably, get consent beforehand. Consent. Asking forgiveness is not always better than, or asking, yeah, forgiveness is not always better than asking for permission. Permission's usually better, especially in this setting. So, without further ado, joining me currently is Feyla playing Tory.
Hello. Apologies if I'm AFK a lot tonight. I'm having some medical issues, but I'm good. I'm here.
Yes, or a little bit at least. Buttons playing Shiloh. And then Nenavar playing Steven.
Hello.
And hopefully, like I said, Cocia will be joining us shortly once technical issues are resolved, playing Beth. So, last time on Life and Blood Atlanta, you all went to a meeting. Then the cop showed up and Beth played getaway driver. And then pandemonium. Would anybody like to cover the highlights after the getaway scene?
Steven's bonded to Cyril right now.
That was certainly one of the highlights.
And Tory watched from silently
Yep.
from somewhere.
Yes. Hush showed back up and played evidence removal. And then there was a little bit of conversation that was had after all was said and told. And you got invited to 80s Night Part 2. Because Javier is back in town. So, can I get your rouse checks for the evening? It is the evening of March 3rd.
Pass.
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 All right. And I will take care of Beth's. That is also passed. So, everybody is at 1 on my books.
Steven's at 3.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
Because
There
he's
was that
failed
thing.
all 3 of his rouse checks last night.
Okay. So, first things first. How would everybody like to start their evening?
Find something to eat.
I assume um, you go your normal route, bagged.
Yes.
Okay. Shiloh, Tory.
Let's see, what would Shiloh do? Honestly, she's probably still pretty rattled from the night before, so she's probably just gonna take it easy, spend some time playing and training with the puppy some more.
Tory? Oh, I'm sorry. Were you going to say anything? Okay. Tory would text Bobby and ask him to come to the bar at his earliest convenience.
You get a text of already there, having a couple drinks.
I'll be there soon then. Okay. So she'll go talk to him first.
Okay. So, sure enough, he's having a couple drinks. He is being rather quiet, not causing issues.
When you're done with your drinks, let's have a chat upstairs.
And he just grabs the bottle and we can go now. It's fine.
Okay. Cameron, I'll be back in a minute because I need to talk to you too about things that are happening tonight.
Should I be concerned?
I don't think so, but yep, still want to have that talk.
Okay.
So, Tori will take Bobby upstairs. So, you're good at working on vehicles, right?
I mean, I know my way around an engine.
Have you done it in a shop before?
I haven't legally gotten paid for any of it, but yes.
Are you in need of a job?
I mean, I've got a job, but it doesn't pay that great.
This one I'm not going to force on you. This is your choice. And if you can get the job yourself, of course.
I assume it's a mechanic job. Where at?
With a friend you made the other night. I think you were acquainted with her fist and her fang.
Oh, she ain't gonna hire me. Well, if she does, I'll be surprised.
Tori will prick her finger and hold it out to him for the next level of the bond.
Kind of size, fine.
This should solidify a second level bond if I'm correct.
Yes.
So what I want you to do is there's a man there by the name of George. She calls him Gramps. I'm going to talk to him and let him know that you're coming to do an application if you want to work there. But if you work there, you're going to keep an eye on them and make sure that anything that you think is a problem in relation to vampires, you let me know. But don't let them know that you're doing this.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, just basically act as your snitch.
Yeah.
just without the like cops part.
Exactly. You're going to do everything you can to make sure that they don't suspect you of doing that. And you are not going to tell Beth or George about this either.
I mean, I know
Or
when
the
to keep
others.
my mouth shut. Oh yeah, obviously. Like I said, I know when to keep my mouth shut. I'm not completely stupid.
Remains to be seen, but so far you're doing a good job. Does Tory have George's number? I think she does.
Yeah, she would have George's number, or at least the shop's number.
Okay. She'd call it. Hopefully getting him.
Yeah, Gramps would pick up.
George, it's Tory. I found someone who likes to work on vehicles and told me he can work on motorcycles if you don't have someone to do that.
Well, that's the one thing we don't have is a motorcycle mechanic.
Good. Obviously, he's getting this on his own merit, but I figured I'd send him your way. Beth does know him, but any problems he is going to cause her have been taken care of.
What's his name?
Bobby.
Yeah, he strikes me as kind of bald, kind of heavy set. Always wears a gray shirt and blue shorts.
No, it's like you know him.
I mean, I was making a joke, but sure.
Anyway, like I said, on his own merit, I'm not vouching for anything, but figured I'd send him your way after he said motorcycle.
Yeah, we could certainly use one. If for no other reason, as if we get a job, call him in, have him take care of it.
Sounds good. When would you like him there?
I mean, I'll be here until at least midnight. I'm actually working on stuff.
Okay. I'll talk to you later. Have a good evening.
You too.
Well, if you want to go, he'll be there till midnight. And he also said that it could potentially just be a when they get a job for a motorcycle. So,
Well, that's kind of like a on-call thing. I can still do my other job too.
yep, make you some extra money.
I'd be alright with that. Evening working wouldn't be too bad.
There you go. Well, I'm not going to keep you past that. That was all I wanted you for.
Okay. I figure you should probably know something that I noticed. And I'm not saying that this is like a vampire thing or whatever, but there was definitely some odd people hanging out around here late last night.
Last night? What did they look like?
One was kind of tall, didn't have a whole lot of hair, looked real creepy. Didn't really get close either. Stayed like block and a half, 2 blocks away. Only saw him when I rode off. He was with a I don't know, looked like a younger woman. I don't know. Didn't get a real good look at her, but it might be related, might not be. Who knows?
I think I know the guy you're talking about. And that is. Thank you for telling me.
Yeah, like I said, I think it looked like it was just like acting kind of like a lookout, but who knows?
Okay. Good to know.
But yeah, you told me to tell you I saw something.
I did. Thank you. Also, I will be gone for about a week in a couple of days. you can still text me or go to Cameron. You can also talk to George. He knows about these things as well.
Oh, good. So the web grows.
You're just being in it now.
I'm the bug, and all of you are the spider. Got it.
Pretty much, yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'll stay in touch.
Okay. Have a good evening. I need to go speak with Cameron now.
I'll be down there as well. We'll at least finish this one and
Sure.
be off.
So we'll go talk to Cameron.
Yep.
What bouncers
Back
do
in
you
the
have here
office.
tonight?
Just a kid. Why?
So I let people know, or vampires know, about the brew, and several of them said yes, so I'm not sure how many are coming. I made it very clear to them to not cause an issue. However, I wanted you to be aware that several of them might be coming.
Do I need to call Pete?
If he still wants to work here. I don't know how often he's working for the other woman.
I mean, I can call him and see if he's free.
It might not be a bad idea. Just because I don't know.
Yeah.
With this being the first night.
Yeah.
What?
Good.
In a day or two, I have to take a trip. Should only take me a week. But I won't be around at that point. So I wanted to know if you were wanting to re-up that bond, since it's up to you if you wanted to do that. The ghouling is going to last.
Should be okay. I mean, as long as you're back before, the thing runs out.
Yeah, should only be a week at most.
Okay, yeah, then we're fine. I mean,
Okay. I plan on making more of that beer, but if you want any of your other bouncers to be brought into the know, I can just do the bond on them so they can't say anything to anyone else, but at least they can then be aware of the dangers. But I would only do that for the ones who you want long term.
yeah. At least right now, I wouldn't worry about it so much. If they're like you, I feel like they would want to not be known about.
Well, yes, but everyone has their group of people that are in the know, just in case things happen. You can call Bobby if something does happen, though. He is, and she'll give him his number. Not my favorite person, not any of our favorite person, but he's useful.
Okay. I still have that one thing, too, by the way.
Good. That should be a last resort.
Yeah, I figured if they were causing issues, I would just pull that out and stop and get out.
That's a very good idea. I think I told you fire really hurts us. Like, it could kill us very quickly.
Yeah, I've seen you after a couple bouts of fire.
Yeah, not fun. Was there someone hanging around here last night? One or two people?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Nobody out of the ordinary, at least.
Okay. That was the only thing I wanted to let you know about. But I told them all to ask for the night brew, so you can always send them upstairs to drink if you'd feel more comfortable doing that.
If they get a little bit rowdy, I'll send them out back. But As long as they're not getting crazy, they're fine.
Okay. Then she will leave him. She will probably head back to her kennel and grab Blitz, but on the way, text Hush and just kind of be like, whenever you wanted to have that meeting, I'll be gone for a week and a couple of days.
You receive a text after a little while. It's all shorthand. But it's thanks. Which day are you leaving?
I think we said tomorrow night?
The day after.
I'm leaving as early as possible in 2 days, or 2 nights.
I will meet you and he'll give a location like early that night.
Okay.
It will be on both of our way to our final destination.
Sounds good.
Give me a wits and streetwise.
Is this kindred BS?
No.
Okay. 2 successes.
Okay. You know that there is a very, very small airstrip right around where he has asked you to meet.
Oh.
It is quite a ways north and west of the city.
Okay. Interesting.
Anything else?
Oops. Other than that, she would text Dante and Johnny, let them know that she's going to be out for a week, and then text Cornbread to see if he wants to talk about some upcoming things to take care of with and for her.
He will text back and be like, yeah, I can. What do you need?
I need to be leaving for about a week in 2 days. And I was going to ask you to step in for Baron.
Oh. You mind if I come by real quick?
Go
have an
for it.
update.
I'll be at the bar.
Okay. I'll just make sure I wear a hoodie.
Is there somewhere else you'd prefer to meet?
Upstairs would probably work better.
That's what I meant.
Oh, well, okay. I'll be there in 15, 20 minutes, something like that.
Okay. And she'll bring Blitz with her this time.
Okay. So you show up in a couple minutes, and sure enough, he walks in. So, you asked me to find out where that one girl lived.
Yeah.
Told you the apartment complex didn't have an exact apartment number, so I got curious.
Okay.
Figured out the apartment. Either she's really, really new to the city, like really, really new, or something fishy's going on. She ain't got nothing in her apartment whatsoever.
Interesting. She did say she was very new. But
But may or may not have taken a certain liberty to, go in and poke around.
good, I would expect nothing less from one of your kind. What'd you find?
Yeah. That's the thing. I didn't even find, like, Tremere stuff.
That's very strange.
Just a bunch of clothes.
Running from someone, maybe.
Maybe, but I don't know.
What are your thoughts then?
Honestly, I don't know.
Hmm.
And right about that time, your phone goes off.
Look at the phone.
It is Cam with a message that says, "That girl just called."
She'll hold up her finger to Cornbread. Call him. Or call Cameron. What'd she say?
Said something about she might be getting followed.
Did she give a location?
Said she just went home and somebody had unlocked her door.
Good to know. Thank you. Is she asking for a call back?
Asking for an audience.
Okay. At her place or mine?
She didn't really specify. She did give a number.
Okay.
So,
And what is that?
you would give the number.
Thank you. I'll call her right now. Click. Really? You left the door unlocked?
I thought I locked it back.
Well, she's calling saying she thinks she's being followed because her door was unlocked.
Well, in my defense, the deadbolt didn't want to open, so I wasn't sure if it was a two-way thing.
Fantastic. Wonder how I'm going to talk my way around this one.
Just say some dumb nos broke in, probably.
Fair enough. And,
Not a lie.
do you want to be here for this?
I think I'll step out.
Okay. If you drink beer, if you head downstairs, tell Cameron you want the night brew. I made beer we can drink.
I'll believe it when I see it, and I'm about to go see it. So,
Go see it. And she'll call Haley.
Immediately answers the phone, very shakily. Is this the Tory?
Tory, yes.
Okay. I didn't know if this was one of those things that you would know what to do about, or
Okay, well, Cameron said you thought you were being followed because your door was unlocked. What else is going on? Is there anyone there?
nobody was here. If I wasn't Tremere, I wouldn't notice, but some of my clothes were moved. They were about 3 inches off where I left them.
Right. Perfectionist.
Yeah, it's wouldn't be a big issue, except I'm very particular.
Okay. Nothing is missing, though.
No, I don't really have a whole lot, to be honest with you, but is there any way that I could I'm not going to ask for protection because that's a little bit excessive, but somebody could just kind of like come by and check on me every once in a while, given what happened, and then this, and then yeah.
Sure, I'll figure out someone to do that. I will need your address.
And again, gives the address, gives the actual apartment number.
Okay.
Then maybe not tonight, maybe not tomorrow, because I know like getting permissions and stuff. But is there any way I could maybe hang around you and whoever you hang around with for a little bit?
Let me talk to my coterie before I get back with you on that.
Okay. Just if it's no, it's fine. It's just that safety in numbers and all that.
Right, it's just not only me saying yes in that circumstance. I will give you a little bit of a heads up. There is a couple Nosferatu around here, and some of them like to poke their head where they don't belong. I've had issues with one of them, ongoing issues with very similar things. Could be that, but we will take care of this.
Okay. I'm just scared. I'm
Fair
sure
enough.
I'm probably overreacting, but still.
Nope, that's fine. I'll figure out someone to swing by occasionally.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And they will hang up.
Tora just let out a big sigh and text the coterie. Hey, you want to come to the bar?
You just get an okay from Steven.
You'll get a text. She'll get a text back from Shiloh. Is this a, hey, I've got something I need your guys' help with. Want to come to the bar? Or a, hey, I'm bored and want someone to hang out with. Want to come to the bar?
It'll take a minute before you get a response back. I don't know if you want the real answer to that one or not, but I have some things to talk to you guys about. Don't worry, no one is in trouble. And nothing is happening.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Then come see it.
I plan on it.
Beth will just text back, I'm kind of busy. Bobby just showed up at the garage.
Ah, have fun with him.
He's looking for a job.
I know, I sent him there.
And then you get a gif of just a face. The angry face. Yes, in due time, short time. Everybody converges at the bar. Stephen, Shiloh, when you pull up, you notice Dante's actually there. Along with a couple other kindred that you have seen recently.
While she was waiting for him, Tory would have gone downstairs to chat with people.
Tory would absolutely have recognized a couple people for what they were. Might not know who they are, but recognize who they were. Dante does show up. Dante does have a singular drink and just kind of hangs out for a little bit. Cornbread has 2 glasses in front of him. One is empty, one is not.
She'll head upstairs once she realizes Shiloh and Steven are here.
Okay. But yes, everybody is upstairs.
So, How is everyone tonight?
Doing all right.
Shiloh, you had asked about that drink. It is ready downstairs if you want it.
I'll try one on my way out.
So I got a
What
call
happened?
last night as I was walking from the Tremere Regent. So I had to go take a trip. Wants information about Gregor. I told them I need to finish some things up, so I will be leaving not tomorrow, but the early evening after. They want me there for 3 days, so I will assume I will be gone approximately a week.
Look, I know you want this dealt with, and I do too, probably not to the extent that you do, but are you sure this isn't just a ploy by the tower to get you out of town for a week while they sweep back in and set shop back up?
No, I really don't know. But if this is the truth, which I think it is given the things I've learned in the past week or two, then Gregor is going to get in a shitload of trouble because he should not be making the things he is making.
Makes sense.
And things have been really tense lately, so I'm asking my friend, the Nosferatu that you guys saw the other day, to step in as Baron, just so there is no high tensions between you guys or Cyril or Johnny or anyone, just in case because of what happened the past few nights with the Guru.
Right.
Do you actually trust him, or should we keep an eye on for you?
I mean, you should always keep an eye on everyone. You shouldn't trust hardly any kindred, but I trust him to look out for his own best interest, which would be keeping this fine and doing his best to do it. He is trying to vie for Victor's area, and this will help get the other barons on board with that. And to get someone we know into the area, because that area is only closed off from everyone else's by mine. So I'd rather someone I know there. Also, do you remember that Tremere we ran into the other day?
Yes.
She called saying that she thinks someone is following her. And because someone apparently broke into her house and has asked if someone could go check up on her or at least walk past every few days, but then also asked if she could come hang out with the Coterie occasionally while I happen to be gone. I think the whole thing's a little bit suspicious, but if we go into it knowing that, then it might be better to keep her close. Rather than a rampant Tremere doing who knows what unsupervised.
You have a point, and that's the only reason I haven't flat out said no yet. I don't mind her hanging around the coterie, but I'm not going to be the one checking up on her. Not by myself, at least.
Didn't expect you to.
I can handle that part.
Okay. Yeah, she's at that apartment complex, which you didn't live too far from before. I don't know where you are now.
Stephen will state the general location where he's going to be moving to.
Whether that's far or not, I appreciate you doing that. But yes, she asked if she could at least come spend time with the Coterie until she feels safer.
Was there a reason she feels unsafe, or?
Yes, someone broke into her house and moved her things. And she feels like she's being followed. I told her about the Nosferatu we have around here, but again, unsupervised Tremere versus supervised Tremere. So
Anyone on bet about whether or not it's red?
it's either red or the one that came the other day because I told him about the new Tremere. I don't know. I didn't think anyone was stupid enough to walk into a door and leave it unlocked as they left. But
Especially around a Tremere Haven. Holy moly.
right. So that is what's happening this evening, or has happened this evening. Are you okay with me calling back and telling her that yes, it's okay, but I will not be here?
I'm all right with it.
It's only for a week, right?
I will be back within the week. It should only be a few days. I'm giving it a week just in case.
I'd say what's the worst that can happen, but we've seen the worst that can happen, so
Right.
okay.
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 So Tory will call Haley back. Or shoot her a text. She'll try shooting a text first.
You know it is sent. And you're waiting there for a couple minutes, and then you get a message back that just says, you.
Yeah, she would say that Steven is going to check up on her, and then yes, she can come hang around the Coterie in a few days.
And do that. You.
Let me know if something else happens.
Will do. I'm changing my locks now.
Good.
Putting in electronic locks.
Should keep most people out.
Yes, there's not many Lasombra around here, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
So, that would leave you all together at roughly 10 o'clock at night. What would you all like to do?
Shiloh will pop downstairs and try a beer.
It kind of tastes like the cheap beer that you used to know.
Stephen will also
Not-
be trying some.
But with a hint of iron.
It's not great by any means, but I mean, it's drinkable. And it should have the correct desired effect on you.
Tory will send a message to Cyril asking if everything ended up okay last night.
You would quickly tonight get a message. Yes, everything seemed perfectly fine.
Okay. She won't push anything else there.
Eventually, Johnny shows up at the bar. I assume everybody is still there.
Yeah.
And the second he walks in, everybody kind of like just stops, turns, and looks at him. And Javier is with him.
Tory will go up and greet them.
And before you even get there, he's like, I heard you made your own brew.
I did the second half of it, not the first half.
Well, second half's the important part.
Right.
And I have to try it.
It's a cheap beer to start. Depending on how it went, is the better. It'll get better.
Oh, well, gotta have a sample before I can potentially buy some.
Of course. Hello, Javier.
And he just kind of nods. And he'll walk over, and Cam's already got it poured out. Places it in front of him and starts. It is cheap, but it'll work. And he's like, you and me have to have a talk at some point tonight.
I'm free the rest of the evening.
Well, if you have a business room that you can talk in, so it's not super loud.
I've got upstairs.
Mind you, it's since Johnny's walked in, it's pretty quiet.
We can go upstairs or
everybody's
use
like,
Cameron's office.
No, I like upstairs. More room, you know.
Yeah. It is mostly still decorated from when she used to live there, so it actually looks pretty nice.
So yeah, you two go upstairs. Does Steven and Shiloh join?
Yes. Unless Story tells him no.
Shiloh's gonna be the opposite. She's probably not gonna come unless explicitly invited. She assumes it's barren stuff.
I don't think she would explicitly stop Steven unless Johnny made a motion for it.
You wouldn't care.
Let him upstairs. Have a seat.
Okay. So he sits down with his glass of night brew. He's like, so, what all can you make like that?
I have made several different types of alcohols. So the alcohol itself doesn't matter. How long it lasts is debatable. But they'll at least last a few days typically.
Okay. What do you need to make it? Because I want to help you help me.
So, it is blood sorcery technically, so it requires vitae and blood.
Okay. Well, one of those two we have a lot of.
Oh, my vitae is the caster.
Yeah, I figured. So, like I said, one of those two we have a lot of. The other one I can get more of if you need it. I could probably, I don't know, have a couple dolls on loan. If absolute need be, I could probably hold some people. Who knows?
What was that last part?
I can probably get a hold of some people.
Currently, I was working with the Thin Bloods because they can revitalize blood bags into usable blood. and that was what I was using.
Well, if they can do that, let them know if they want to make some money. I am willing to pay both of you for a somewhat steady supply. It doesn't need to be every night, but I just want to make sure that that we don't run out of it if it goes bad.
Right. I think that's doable. Would you like me to see if they're available to talk right now? Or would you
If
like
you
me to
want
go
to.
through this with them?
I am actually going to leave that up to you. If you want to have a group discussion, we can absolutely have that. If you don't, then you don't have to.
She would...
I know it's...
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know it is... It might be construed as me stepping on toes, even though I'm not really trying to this time. If I'm here and you talk about that, but like I said, having this available is unheard of, and we can both make a lot of money if
Right.
we do it right.
It took me a while to get it correct.
As I expected it probably would.
She'll start sending a message to Cook and saying, just basically what Johnny laid out for them, and if he wants to talk with Johnny, he's here now.
You don't get a response, and Johnny sits there. He finishes his thing, and he makes a bunch of small talk. However, you hear a very loud truck come flying in. You hear the screeches on the pavement.
Oh, I guess that's
And then
him.
thunk, 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 thunk.
Open the door.
And he throws open the door. And he throws open the door. He didn't even wait for you to open the door.
Hi, Cook.
Exactly what do you need me to do? And I'm getting paid for it now?
Yep. Told you it'd work out.
Yeah.
Come have a seat. Johnny, this is Cook.
First
Cook,
and
this is
foremost-
Johnny.
And Johnny just kind of like smiles and waves. He's like, first and foremost, as long as you ain't trying to like absolutely bend us over a barrel here, I'm absolutely all for it. We need money. We always need money. And if we can get a lot of it, maybe we won't need any money.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Sure. That'd be great. And Johnny's like, well, can't guarantee that I won't want to bend you over the barrel, but that's here nor there. You're welcome.
Really, Johnny?
You're welcome. But anyway, more in all seriousness, and he like lays out a bunch of terms. Basically, you each get paid a certain amount, A, to cover actual cost, and B, he's paying you per batch, not per time invested, not per night. It's per batch.
Makes sense.
He will supply all of the alcohol for his club. And that is completely free to you. If you mess anything up, it doesn't cost you anything.
Okay.
You just won't get paid for it.
Makes sense.
And at that point, Cook reaches into his cargo shorts pocket, pulls out a jar, and he's like, I think we need to solidify this deal.
Oh, Lord, it's been so long since I've had something like that.
And Johnny just looks at it and he's like, and if we're gonna have that available, I will pay the supplier for whatever that is. And you can see Cook's eyes get real big on that one.
Why not?
All right.
Tori will go get some of the red solo cups that she has.
Cook kind of laughs and stops you. No, we don't put it in a cup. And
Okay.
he just turns it up. He just turns it up and passes it on to Johnny. Kind of laughs a little bit and mimics much the same and comes out coughing on the back end.
Tori will take a
As he
swig.
hands it to Tory. It's
Potent?
spicy. Spicy.
Spicy. Does Steven want some?
Um,
I was going to say, your guys' deal, you guys enjoy it.
but yeah, no, Cook will absolutely sit there and just continue slowly drinking.
Tori won't take
that
any more of that.
specifically. It's yeah.
Yeah, it's the wrong kind of spicy for her.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll go over things with Johnny and then sign off on it or whatever, as long as it seems fair, which I think it would be.
Would you like to make a wits and etiquette if you have that?
I do not, but I have 2 wits.
Well, Kindred BS would also work in this.
Would Steven be able to help with that?
That's
Steven
3
can take
dice.
his own.
I rolled 2.
It's pretty fair.
Steven got 3.
Yeah, it's pretty fair. I mean, maybe a little bit underpaid, but all in all, it's fair.
He is getting a lot into that with the stuff with the alcohol, so it's fine.
Yeah. And after like all of the negotiations and everything's informally signed on no dotted line because there's no actual paperwork.
Right.
He just kind of looks at Tory and Cook. Well, it will be an absolute pleasure to tap into a market that I didn't even know existed until about an hour ago.
Well, there you go.
Oh, since I have you here, well, both of you and Shiloh downstairs. Where's Beth?
At her
At the
garage.
garage. That's unfortunate. Maybe I'll go visit her later. Who knows?
I'm sure she'd love to
Um,
see you. After the
Yeah.
person I sent her.
What did you do?
Cleaned up a mistake, and then the person's going to try to get a job with her. She's not thrilled with me right now.
There.
On their
Anyway,
own merits, though.
As I would expect you to do and require. Since I have you 3 here at least, the offer that I made last night still stands. We can do it here instead of at the club.
I would love to see what you have for us, but I don't care where it's done.
Well, it might be less distracting here.
Okay.
Steven will send a quick text to Shiloh telling her to come up.
Hey, Cook, can you give us a little bit? You might want to go talk to Nix about that.
What's he gonna do?
I mean, I guess. I don't know if you want to stay for this. He's gonna do Malkavian shit.
Oh hell yeah, I want to stay for this. Hell, I'll pay it if you do mine. It's like a tarot card thing, right?
That's up to you, Johnny.
I'm just gonna laugh and not quite, but sure.
I've actually started to be able to kind of do that, but seem to get it to do it whenever I want to.
You know, is it a good idea for Johnny to do your thing, Steven?
Yeah, that's a good point. What do you think, Johnny?
Oh yeah, you got the D.
Yeah.
It's okay. It doesn't affect Javier.
Good to know.
From the
You
top of
can
the
do it too.
stairs, you hear, "Man, I walk in on the weirdest parts of that conversation."
You missed the conversation about a barrel earlier, so it's all good.
Oh, that's why I almost choked on my drink. Hi, Johnny.
Hi, Shiloh. So, and keep your mind out of the gutter this time. That was just a joke.
Sure it was.
He's not pretty enough.
Sorry, Cook.
I don't know. It's fine. But Javier's gonna. Who would like who to read them?
Since you did mine last time, I'd prefer you to do mine.
I can do that. Shiloh.
I think it might be a good idea for Johnny to do mine. I don't want to traumatize two people.
No, it's fine. After seeing what she had in her head, I can't get traumatized anymore.
Mm.
I say that with the utmost respect.
It's not like you had a lot to dig through.
Yeah, it's weird. Pieces were missing.
I have so many questions now.
Anyway, let me go to the car. I'll grab my things. I'll be right back. I at least have to have a certain air about me. Johnny, you can do your thing. And Johnny's like, ready to go?
Sure.
Okay. Come here, sit down. And he'll turn sideways on the couch and kind of stare at Shiloh and grab her shoulders. I can grab your hands too. It works just the same if you want me to do that.
Hands might work a little better. Yeah.
And you sit there and you kind of stare at each other for, it seems like, a lot longer than it actually is. And Shiloh, you eventually kind of have everything kind of go black. And Steven and Tory, you are watching this. You see both of their eyes just slowly kind of roll back. And Shiloh, you are in this vast expanse of darkness. There is a very faint sound of a whirring, almost. Kind of like a pinwheel. And without actually moving, you feel the sensation of moving. It starts slow, but it's faster and faster and faster and faster. And then you realize that it's kind of in a circular motion. almost like you are in the pinwheel, until it just suddenly stops. And then a bright flash of light, and you see Dee's face. And he helps you up, smiling at you, saying something. It's inaudible, though. And you see him turn around and turn back around. And he says something else to you. And he turns back around. And then he just disintegrates. And then just this figure that is blocking the light is there. And you're filled with both rage and this deep, almost longing. And then you come back to.
Oh, God.
That one was a good one.
Oh, I think I preferred the weird one with the top hat. What the heck?
Yeah, the top hat was still had kind of a circus theme to it, though. The pinwheel.
I guess.
I don't know. You okay?
Am I ever okay? I don't know anymore. I don't know what any of that
No.
was.
Did you feel that last part too, or was that just me?
Feel that.
The feelings.
Yeah. Oh. Oh man, I don't think I've been mad like that since. Oh man. Before I was turned, at least.
Yeah, it was strong. That was real strong. I'm gonna go downstairs and I am going to go get another drink to try to help forget about that. Because, yeah.
If you succeed, let me know.
Though I probably won't, but it's worth a shot.
Oh shit, hey Cook. Don't you guys have special infused shit in the blood sometimes?
You mean like herbal supplements and chemicals?
Yeah. Wonder if that would work.
I mean, we can get a hold of it.
What you think, Johnny?
If I bring over a case of bottom shelf something, can you do that tonight?
Need the special blood, but
Cook's already on the phone with Nick. Like, yeah, I need the island special to the upstairs to the bar, please. Okay, cool, thanks. I appreciate it.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
on
we're
its
doing
way.
it.
And by this point, Javier is back and he's setting up incense and a couple candles. And he's got this kind of like a throw blanket that he didn't have last time, but it'd probably just make him feel comfortable. When he sits down, like, whoever's first. Whoever wants to be first, we can do it in any which order. I don't care.
Up to you, Steven.
Go ahead and go first.
Okay.
Tory will sit down.
I still need to be wary about this crystal blowing up in my face, right? Actually, that might be why you want to go first, Steven, just in case. Because you can't do it after me if the crystal blows up.
True. To be honest, I don't remember that from last time we did this, to be honest.
Yeah, that was a thing that happened. Well, it didn't happen, but it could have.
It's fine. When you sit down, I need you to just pay attention to me. And I will not be as creepy as Johnny was. And we will get into it. Steven, you sit there and Javier is meditating. He's obviously having a bit of a tough time breaking through whatever barrier it is, but you feel him worming his way through. Until eventually, you two are in blackness. And then something odd happens. You hear your sister. And fading into view is your parents' house when you were a kid. Mom's there, dad's there, you're there. And you're playing. And then just out of nowhere, everything except for you disappears. Confused, you kind of stumble through the darkness a little bit until you find actually the same mirror that you found before. The one that mended itself. You pick it up and you're staring into it, and then it just shatters into a million pieces. At which point, you come back too.
Don't know what to make of that one.
Yeah. Usually they're a little bit more detailed. I apologize. There was something in there that was keeping me from getting to the actual root of everything. I did the best I could, though.
Hopefully that doesn't mean anything awful.
I'm sure you're fine.
Could have been the demontation thing.
Right, you are one of those, aren't you?
Yes.
Next time I'll take different precautions and I'll make sure I get through that. That's probably what was pushing me out the entire time. I wish I had a better interpretation of that, but I don't, fortunately. And externally, Shiloh and Tory, Steven didn't change. He just kind of had a more blank expression this time. Even more blank than when he gets a hold of special blood. And then Javier kind of like resets a little bit, and it takes a minute. And Nick does actually show up right before Javier's finished.
Hmm.
walks in. What's going on here?
Just a big party.
Obviously, are we having like a seance or something like that? Who's the Akata? Akata.
That's not a Hakata.
Not a mage, is it?
Nope.
Okay. It's a werewolf, right?
Yep.
You're joking, right?
Nope.
She kind of gives a side eye to Javier. And he's willingly staying here.
He's part of the reason we now have a treaty with the Guru.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something we can go over later if you want.
We're fine. What kind of treaty?
Don't go north of these X roads.
Oh, so don't go into rich people territory. Got it.
Yeah.
I won't.
Let all of you guys know, please, because that will end up badly.
Yeah. And she immediately starts texting just dozens of people. Everybody that I know that needs to know now knows.
Good. I didn't know you were unaware, or I would have told you. Yeah, that's a thing now.
Yeah, I heard something, but that's not what I heard. I heard that somebody was going to be moving in up north, and I just figured that was Cyril.
Yes, that too.
Right, I knew about that. I just didn't realize there was another person.
Yeah. So anyway, the Guru were there. Javier's a friend. Mostly. It's fine. And then Johnny's gonna pay for blood beer and alcohol.
Sure. I can't get any weirder, but
Hey Johnny, are you having someone bring over the bottom shelf stuff?
yeah, they should be here.
Why don't I do that before Javier does my thing?
Ooh, depending on what's in there, it could send you on a couple different trips.
I think I'm good on that regards.
Okay. And yeah, about 5 minutes goes by. Nix doesn't hang around. But Cook does his thing and revitalizes.
Yeah, Tory will throw open the doors to the surgery and they can do it in there.
And sure enough, a case of bottom shelf clear potato liquor is delivered.
Cool. Tory will do her thing. Hopefully not getting too hungry.
Well, let's find out. This one you can kind of do like a jungle juice situation, just dump it all in.
Sure. Just one
So,
rouse
just
check?
that one. Yeah.
I succeeded.
All right. So you do not get any hungrier.
Nope.
Would you like to roll and figure out how long this is viable for?
Yes, intelligence and blood sorcery. Ugh. I might do a willpower depending on how this roll goes. Yeah, we're gonna burn a willpower here, if you're okay with that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I rolled 2 regular successes and 2 crits.
It's good for quite a while. And yeah, you make things to happen.
Here, Johnny, here, Steven, why don't you try it out?
And Johnny just kind of laughs a little bit. You better believe. And yeah, he immediately just downs it. And he's like, well, it doesn't taste very good. But then again,
Steven's going to take it and say, feel free to stick me if I do something stupid.
Don't worry, I won't hesitate. Cook, you want some?
sure, at this point, what's the worst that can happen?
Don't ask that question.
You know I'm going to ask that question.
We don't ask that question in this haven.
Yeah, you don't.
We, collective we.
You're part of it.
Anyway, Shiloh,
ain't
I
part of
take it
that
you're good?
collectively.
Yeah, someone should probably keep their wits about them. Also, I've had enough bad trips during my days. I'm good without it.
Yeah, I like keeping my own mental capacity. Don't mind a drink here or there, but nothing more than that.
Speaking of not tasting very good, Javier, can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
What is the whole thing with the werewolves saying the vampires smell bad? Is it like the blood? Is it the fact that we've been technically dead forever? What's with that?
We can smell the curse on you. The thing that makes you who you are, we can smell. It's not necessarily that you actually smell bad, it's the taint of whatever it is that was placed upon you.
Interesting.
And to answer your question, yes, I can smell it. Is it appetizing? No. Not at all. Is it something that I've come to just accept, especially being around Johnny? Yes.
So does that mean it's worse for some than others?
Yes. Typically, I find the ones that what's the term that you guys use? The cannibals.
Ah.
They tend to smell just a little bit worse. The ones that have less human inside them are a little bit more pungent. It's not necessarily worse, but it's just stronger.
You don't have to do mine if you don't want to.
No, it's fine. That's what the incense is for. And to answer your question, yes, I can smell it on you the first time. You're a little bit more detached from everything else, right?
Yeah?
Figured as much.
Less than I was last time I saw you, at least.
Yeah. These things happen, so don't beat yourself up about it. Just don't let it get too bad.
I've been in that bad space before, and I'd rather not get there again.
Pretty sure we've all hit rock bottom at some point and pulled ourselves up out of there. Hopefully that was your rock bottom.
Had I fallen much farther, I wouldn't be here.
Oh, Johnny's could say the same thing. And I feel like Shiloh and Steven both could probably say the same thing.
Maybe not in the same way.
No,
Steven would say something, but he's a little out of it right now.
Actually, as a matter of fact, can I have a stamina and composure roll from you, please?
Kindred jungle juice.
One.
It was an island mix. Not sure if it was an herbal supplement or if it was something else, but
Something more
it,
rocky.
it's you're seeing things. It's fine, and you're not having a bad time this time. It's like a kaleidoscope type idea.
How you doing over there, Johnny?
I don't know if you did something to make it weird, but it's weird. I like it.
More power to you.
Might want to scoot a little farther away from Steven. I don't know.
Yeah, opposite ends of the room, you two.
And at this point, Cook, which I can actually roll for him. Oh, Cook's just as far along as Steven is. Visibly.
This is really funny.
Yeah. Did Johnny ever tell you how we met specifically before we get into it?
Something about being out in the desert.
Did he tell you why he was out in the desert?
No, I assumed it was a bad trip.
No. He took it upon himself to try to blackmail the Prince of San Francisco.
Oh. That's a ballsy move.
Yeah. And at this point, Johnny's deep enough in that he's not paying attention to anything. And see, the fun part about that is he even had the evidence on him when they dropped him off. It was damning evidence. And best part is the tower does what the tower wants. And you have a prince that bonds all of the court. Prince has authoritarian power.
Right.
What they say goes. Kind of what Carissa had.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny might have freaked out a little bit, and that's why he ran away. He probably told you he went and got protection, right?
Yeah.
Not untrue, but he was having flashbacks to what happened last time. I found him 5 minutes after dawn. He was panicked underneath a boulder, slowly baking alive.
The first time or the second time?
The first time. I sunproofed the area, knowing what he was, and wanted to give him a little bit of dignity, even if that's where his last sleep was going to be. stayed in the area. He woke up and he found me and he thanked me. 'Cause, we don't mix much. But my entire philosophy on life is all things that are put here are supposed to be here, even if they're not, for the benefit of everybody else. And unfortunately, that's where you guys come in. You are what you are. No denying that. There's no changing that. But I'm not willing to hold it against you. Because, yes, you can be what you are, but there's still some good in some of you. I would venture to say some good in most of you. Whether or not you let that out is a completely different story.
The way our society is built and has grown does not allow for niceties very often.
Right. And that's why when I get the chance to sit down with some of you, and it's not immediately fangs and claws and insults, this, that, and the next thing, it's nice. It's still not 100% comfortable, still not 100% good, but I enjoy it. Now, the second time, I told him to stay out of San Francisco, and he didn't. Second time, I found him 20 minutes before dawn, tied to a cactus.
When I said second time, I meant when he left recently. I didn't know there was more.
Yeah, I found him out in the middle of the desert 3 or 4 times.
Why'd he keep going back?
His mom was there.
Mm.
Yeah, to make sure she was okay. Apparently, the circumstances of his birth were especially traumatic, and they formed a really close bond. But that being said, still Johnny, still stubborn. It is what it is with him. And you can take me at my word on this, or you can not. It doesn't really matter. But for all of his faults and for all of his oddities and stupidities, at the end of the day, all he really wants to do is figure out who's around him and figure out if they're worth his time.
I get the feeling that I scare him.
You probably scared a lot of people.
That's the truth.
However, if we're being completely honest with you, he's less scared of you than he is of you. He looks at Shiloh.
Me?
You're an unknown to him. Well, your clan is an unknown to him. He knows what you are, or what you're supposed to be able to do. He only met 2 of you, and you're the second. The first one, I think you guys call it Golconda or something like that. The path to enlightenment, whatever it is.
As close as we can get, yeah.
Yeah, they were on the other side of that path.
Oh.
They were quickly spiraling out of control. And that is how Johnny got the disease the first time. He's apparently spent 3 months in hell trying to get out of it. So he is petrified of you guys. Gangrel, pretty straightforward. Most
Sure.
of the time. A straightforward Gangrel will get a straightforward attitude. One that has more twists and turns than, well,
Looking at Steven
mine.
and Johnny, they're like completely out of it. They're not gonna remember any of this conversation, right?
Yeah, no, they're completely out of it. Same thing with Cook.
Okay. So look at Shiloh.
Shiloh already knows. When we first met, you told me I didn't smell right. Did you know why? I'm
After
assuming it's not the
first
same
time.
smelling right now as now.
No. I didn't necessarily know why. But after that first time of poking around in your head, I figured it out. Does she know?
Pretty sure Samal told you, didn't he?
He told me enough.
Then yeah, she knows. Well, at least some of it.
Okay. So I assume that's probably why you smell a little bit off. But there's also that extra smell.
Right.
Kind of smells a little bit like your friend Beth.
Yeah.
I can smell that too. Again, not something that I was going to say.
Not gonna lie, kinda wish you hadn't.
It stays between. I would hope that you'd be willing to call me friend, especially at this point. But
Right.
what you do on your own time is your own business. I don't get into your politics.
It's not, you aren't the reason I wish you hadn't said that.
Oh, they're not going to remember any of this.
Look at Shiloh.
As far as,
She didn't know that.
oh. Well, I'm sure you had good reason. Or at least it seemed like a good reason when I saw it.
She didn't do that until after.
I thought
She did.
did.
No. She waited for the Jacoby thing until after because she knew it was going to be a problem.
That's right, isn't it?
Yep. It was the episode after. Or game after.
But there was the one.
There was the one.
So, let me revise that saying it seemed like a good idea that you had for a just reason. You wanted to keep your friends, well, your new acquaintances, as you had it in your head, safe and cause less problems for everybody else.
Losing control of the
So-
beast is also part of that.
So, you can say what you want about her in your politics, but at the end of the day, might be a little bit less human, a little bit more, well, true to what is inside of you. But there is some caring there. keep you safe, wants to make your lives a little bit easier. Methods by which they go about it is questionable at times, but that's not my place to really judge. Now, is it?
Says the guru hanging out with the kindred.
Exactly. Now, that being said, I can say that I did your reading. Or we can actually do it if you want me back in there. Now that you know that, yes, I've seen everything that you've done.
Well, you've already seen it, so what's it gonna change?
Everything between then and now I can also see. So if there's things that you want hidden and you don't want anybody to know, then
I will once again trust you to be discreet, because there are things I don't want everyone to know. But I also don't think you're going to be running around blowing your mouth over it.
no, I'm a little bit more tactful.
So I'll leave that up to you. I have lost some of my humanity and the other things, so it's up to you if you want to be back in there.
Maybe this time I'll get to speak with it. Figure out what makes you tick.
You can speak with the beast?
If I go deep enough, yeah.
That would be interesting.
Oh. You want me to try yours?
Sure, I'm sure it's a great chimeric thing based on what it's been forced to go through.
And you, Shiloh, I can try yours as well. Granted, I'm going to see your entire life history in the process.
I am kind of curious. Okay, but after Tory.
If I don't break the thing. Is the blood sorcery why I could break the thing?
Depending on how strong people are.
I got a little bit better at it since you did it last time.
Really, it's about the strength of your blood. It's not necessarily the fact that you can do magic.
The strength of the blood's the same as was last time, too, technically.
You should be fine. As long as I don't completely mess it up.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, I'm sure I probably won't. When he sits down, he gets into his position. Whenever you're ready.
She'll get him to position. What do I need to roll? Storyteller?
You don't need to roll anything.
Oh, okay.
I have already rolled everything that needs to be rolled.
Oh, how special.
Now, you experience the same inky blackness. The same complete silence. And you sit there for what feels like an eternity. Nothing happens. Nothing. No noise. No feeling. No movement. And then you just feel this slight tingle on the back of your neck. Almost like you're being watched.
Can she move?
You spin and you don't see anything, but the feeling doesn't move. You become slightly more panicked of, I don't like this. This is unnatural. Until you get panicked enough to where you start physically moving away from the area. And the feeling just gets stronger and stronger. Until it almost seems like you bust through a wall. And you find yourself in a 10-foot by 10-foot cage with chains and a chair. There's no doors going out. You just here, sit. I'd love to talk to you again.
No, 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 no.
And you spin around and there's nobody there. And you look around for the person until you're just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning. And you look up and you just see not a familiar face. It's a small face. And a ragged teddy bear looking down on you from the top of the cage and just kind of waves. And you blink and it's all gone. And you're back in the upstairs bar. Javier's in front of you. And his eyes just kind of go wide. And what kind of weird crap are you getting into?
I think she would be like borderline having an actual panic attack right now. Like actually hyperventilate even though she doesn't need to breathe or anything like that.
I didn't expect all that now. What was that?
Take a minute to collect herself.
Do you even know?
I know who the guy was.
Oh, wonderful. Well, good news. I got to talk with it for a little bit.
The guy? Or the beast?
No, that one. The thing inside of you. At least
How'd
I'm
that
pretty
go?
sure. Kind of pompous, arrogant jackass is what it is.
Yeah.
However, brought up that normally you can't scare things like that. And even that was scared. So whatever that was, it ain't good.
No.
And by this point, Steven and Johnny and Cook all are finally coming out to be kind of semi-coherent. They at least know what's around them. It's probably been about 20 minutes. And Johnny just kind of looks over. Is everything okay?
No.
There's your answer, I guess.
Did he break the crystal?
It probably would have been better.
Oh, if you're getting that kind of response off of not breaking it, ooh, that's a fun one, isn't it?
No.
And Javier just kind of turns to Shiloh and is like, "You sure you want me to do that?"
No, but I think that's all the more reason to. After what I saw with Johnny, I got questions I need answered. This might help.
Now to roll his again. And spending some willpower. Because I'm trying to get you the best possible. Okay. I'll accept that. So, Shiloh, you find yourself, after he gets set up and calmed down a little bit, he gets reset, and you find yourself in that same inky blackness. This time you do hear circus music. It's tinny, it's annoying. And when the lights finally come on, the same figure is standing in the doorway, and you still have that feeling of longing and hatred. And there's just a little bit of regret, maybe, that seeps in. But you're not sure if that's actually what you would call it. Um, and you don't stay there for very long, but you do pick up on a couple items. You pick up on a familiar looking cross. You don't know where you've seen it. You just know it looks familiar. A familiar smell. Again, you don't know where you've smelled it. Kind of smells like cinnamon rolls, maybe? Who knows? And then, I don't know, something else. And then it fades far too quickly. And you come back and see Javier's still focused on something. And then you can, like, all of you are watching him at this point, and he starts openly crying. And after a little bit, he kind of snaps back to and says, "Well, I had a talk."
Whatever happened? I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have asked.
No, it's fine. It's part of what you all can do. Your clan can do. It's empathy. At what point did you get cut off? I felt you get cut off. I don't know exactly when.
It's hard to say. There was, I don't know. I could smell something like cinnamon and sugar and vanilla, and then it started to hurt. Then I got pulled out.
Okay. I don't know what's important and what's extraneous information. There's too much to explain what went on. But the the initial feelings that you felt, they eventually faded completely into regret. I don't know what you feel bad for, but I have something to do with it. It's gonna come back and bite you, or it's gonna come back and look you in the eye.
Doesn't it always?
Yeah, it always comes back full circle. But in the meantime, all we can do is soldier on. Oh, and I did talk to it, by the way. It's scary at the heart of it. Wherever it came from for you has some deep-seated issues that I don't know if it ever got resolved.
I don't know how much you know about Valkanda in particular, but parts of my clan are taught the best way to achieve it is to harness the beast any way you can. Wrangle it, push it away, lock it away. And that's how I was taught to deal with it. Bagging wasn't my first choice, I'll admit it. It was the only way I knew how to control it.
What was your first choice, if you don't mind me asking? That one, I didn't see.
My first instinct was to find people that were hurting, that were close to the edge anyway. Offer them a little bit of twisted, sick comfort in those last final moments.
can understand why you locked those memories away. I would say I hope that never has to come back out again, but the world's a dark place. Don't lose sight of that. Don't forget about that. Just don't revert to it. You're a good person. Deep down somewhere in there, there's a good person. The bad parts are, unfortunately, the parts that keep you living when you're not supposed to.
The good it's done me. It's just brought trouble on everyone here.
Oh no. No. What brought trouble on everybody here is some stupid mage way back when decided that they were going to start a actual physical war against people that were like you. And that mage went on to be an entirely different clan.
So the story goes.
And ever since then, they've painted you into a corner and told them that you're scarier than most of you actually are. There are some that are scary. No scarier than a hungry Nosferatu, an angry Gangrel, a Ventrue that's so power hungry that willing to do whatever it is they need to do. A scorned Lasombra. A Malkavian that's been pushed past their limits. Or a fixated Toreador or Zamitzi for that matter. They'll do anything they can to get what they want. There are none of you that can't be scary. There are some that are less inherently threatening, like a Thin Blood. But even they can be scary.
Well, thanks for what it's worth.
I'm not going to say thank you because the cost and the benefit really cost a whole lot. And as far as the benefit, I don't know if it benefited you so much. There wasn't a whole lot of benefit for me. But at least I have some hope that maybe there's some actual hope for your kind. You have one side of the coin where it's do anything to survive, which doesn't fit any of you, not really. I mean, you will, but not quite to that extent. Then you have the other side that going to try to make the world better. And if I got to do it alone, I'll make it happen. And with that, Javier starts packing up his things. Like, Johnny, I think I'm going to probably head out a little bit sooner than I expected. I think I need some time to reflect. And Johnny's just, yeah, Forget it. Stay in touch. You've got my number. Actually, as a matter of fact, Tory, do you mind if he writes his number on the wall too?
You
You're muted.
Go for it if you want.
Javier kind of laughs a little bit. He's like, I'll do you one better. And he pulls out a plank of wood, and you can see his finger kind of extend into a little bit of a claw, and he scratches it into the piece of wood. And he just lays it on the table. So if you ever have any questions, any need for me, you can reach out. I can't guarantee that I'll be there that night, but I'll do what I can.
Shiloh will kind of watch quietly for a moment, and as Javier's probably turning to leave, she'll kind of quietly speak up, and I don't know how much good we can be to you, but if there's anything I can do to help tip the scale back a little more balanced, let me know.
We got to think about that. I know there's things, I just don't know what.
I doubt you want much to do with me outside of this, but if you need me, let me know.
No, I don't have a problem with you. There's still a decent person in there. And I would hope that that decent person would eventually come back to prominence, but they don't. As long as they don't slip too far away, I think you'll be fine. And if I need you, I'll call you. All right, well, I'll have Johnny call you for me. He slings his pack over his shoulder and walks off into the night. And Johnny's like, do you mind if I take like half of that back to the club?
I don't care what you do with it. I'm not going to drink it. It's between you and Cook.
And Cook's like, I'm going to fill up a jar. And I'm going to use it sparingly.
It'll last for quite a while.
Okay. And you can see Cook pull out a couple mason jars that are empty. And he fills 3 of them up. And he's like, I'm going to get going and I'm going to share this with people.
Yep.
My people, obviously.
I would assume you're not just going to share it to the mortal who, like, walks the alleyways three blocks down.
Oh no, screw that guy. He tried to mug me the other day. He wasn't around here though. He was our side of town.
Right.
Have a good night.
You too.
And Johnny takes some time and he fills up 2 of the bottles, which leaves just enough for another bottle to be stored above the bar.
Lock it in the fridge where she keeps the blood bags, which are running low right now.
and it is just you three.
Did I miss anything?
Do you need me for anything, Shiloh?
And do I not need anyone else? But no.
There's a couple things I'd like to go get.
And she'll call Blitz and walk out.
Okay. And then there were two.
So what's
Oh.
going on with Javier crying?
I shouldn't have asked. That was so unfair of me. I should never have asked him to do that.
Did he offer?
Yeah. I still could have said no.
Oh, we lost Ned. Look at that puppy dog
no.
stare.
That's unfortunate.
Terrible timing.
I know.
Terrible timing.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sure if he didn't think he could take it on, he wouldn't have offered.
Should have warned him though. I should have told him. It's not. Wasn't fair of me to accept when I didn't warn him about what he might come across. It's not. Michelle is just gonna get real quiet and curl in on herself and pull her phone out and just stare at it for a moment.
Yeah, I don't know too much about your clan outside of what you told me. I don't quite understand what you are going through.
No. I would hope you wouldn't. But there is someone who does, and we're overdue for a talk. And she'll call Darian. Just right there.
Hello?
This is gonna sound like a stupid question. What happened the night I was turned? Embraced, whatever.
What do you mean?
You remember I told you about the Malkavian Baron, Johnny?
Yeah.
He did his thing. Saw something. Well, we saw something. I saw you. You were trying to tell me something, but I couldn't hear it. And then you disintegrated. And someone was standing behind you.
Oh, that's not good.
And the whole time I could just felt angry, D. Like, I haven't felt that angry since I was human. This wasn't the beast's rage. It was like, it's hard to describe.
Like I said, I don't know what that was all about. far as the night that you were embraced, the normal thing. I did my thing. I gave you some much needed revitalization. Made sure you got something to eat. Tried to take care of you. It's not like I hit you in the back of the head with a shovel and threw you in a hole and hoped that it turned out well for you. I was way past that.
Which I am eternally grateful, believe me.
Yeah. But it's just one of those things that nothing happened. I don't know what that was all about. I assume that was some sort of premonition. Which some of us can do that too, and some of us are really good at it. I can't tell you what that was all about. Not gonna try, not gonna even. It's not worth the brain power that I'd have to put in to figure it out. You said you were angry. Well, you might have been angry because you just saw me get killed. So I'll just remember not to tell you anything when we're in the same room.
There was more to it. There was longing, regret. I don't know. I know I get bad feelings a lot, but I mean, bad shit happens to us all the time. I've got a really bad feeling about this one.
I mean, maybe that was. You regret being this. I know it was for your benefit. Make sure that you could continue attempting to help a stepped on and oppressed society. I think that's what you said, at least.
Stephen can see Shiloh kind of grimace.
How's that working out for you? I told you when
I'll
we
let you
started
know when
this.
it starts working.
I'll let you know when we started this that we don't help that society. But I'm willing to at least let you try.
Right.
I also told you when we started this entire thing that I didn't even consider it until you showed me that your never say die attitude. You never quit. You never gave up. You never let yourself get caught up with all the, negative parts of what was going on. You tried to have a smile on your face. And it kind of gave me some hope that maybe if I did help, that she could actually do something rather than just say it.
Yeah. Yeah. I told you it was going to be a silly question. I should probably let you go.
I'm just packing up the last of my things now. I'll stop by in a couple days, make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
And he will hang up.
Can I help at all?
No. What the fuck did I expect? What was I thinking?
As someone who doesn't think a lot, I can tell you trying to figure it out doesn't help.
Shiloh can't help but laugh at that.
Oh, what time is it at this time?
It's later. It's not super late, but it's later. Probably 2:30.
Do you want to do something to relax? It won't be like last time.
That depends. What do you have in mind?
Just don't tell the others about it, alright?
That depends. What do you have in mind?
Also, is Darren still at the Coterie house, or did he leave?
Oh no, he's been staying in my spare room for a while. He's over there moving out.
Okay, what I have in mind is over there.
I'm going to let Tory know we're going back to the Coterie house, so that way if she finds it blown up, she knows who to blame, and it's not going to be me this time. And Shiloh will kind of stand and text Tory, hey, I don't know what you're doing the rest of the night, but Steven and I are headed to the Coterie house.
No response.
Steven is going to pop in Sense the Unseen on just to make sure they aren't followed on the way there.
Would you like to roll that?
Sure. I'm just going to spend a willpower real quick. Two.
Pretty sure you're not followed.
So Steven will just make his way to a random room and grab some of the stuff they stored there. Mainly a couple art canvases, paintbrush, paint, and joy of painting.
Okay.
I was expecting a lot, but I must say I wasn't expecting this.
I noticed you don't really do the things that I normally do, so I kind of figured I'd give you the I'm out of money and can't get a hold of Leo treatment.
Sure, why not?
Do you have a preferred color?
Not really.
So you want to just sort through and try to find an episode with lots of blues. There you go. work on that with Shiloh.
Okay. You continue working on that well into the morning. Obviously, leaving yourself enough time to go to a safe place, whatever that may or may not be. Tory. What have you
So,
been up to?
kind of as soon as she leaves the house, she recognized the Baron's voice, right?
Yes, absolutely.
She's gonna call Cyril.
He will pick up almost immediately, yet again.
How much do you know about the Baron?
It's not necessarily all of it, but quite a bit.
Is there a connection with
Why?
him and a little girl?
I will actually have to roll something.
Okay.
Rousing the blood because this seems important.
Sure.
There is, but why?
Because I just submitted to a guru poking around my head to give a premonition, and she was in it.
Okay. That's odd.
Right.
The Baron didn't appear in her first one, did it? I don't think it.
No.
There was a room with a cage, a chair, and chains, and she was above the cage, looking down.
Okay.
So for some reason,
And-
something's going on with this little girl.
Can you describe her for me?
She didn't. She had a teddy bear, very ragged looking, very dead looking.
Right. Come by the shop. That's probably a better course of action to talk about this.
Right. Give me a couple minutes, I'll be on my way.
I'll be here all night.
Okay.
So, does Tori have her motorcycle back?
Yes.
Okay. Assuming it's at the kennel, she'll run back there. Was the necklace from Charles pure silver?
Yes, it would.
Okay. She's actually gonna grab that, and then she's gonna swing by a store to get a cross. 'Cause she doesn't have one, and slip it
Okay,
onto
it
that
is-
chain.
It is very, very early in the morning, so probably wouldn't have any stores that are open right now.
Oh, not even 24-hour stores. Okay.
Well, they wouldn't carry a cross.
Okay. Well, still having silver is better than nothing, I guess. But yeah, she'll slip that on and then head over to Cyril's.
Okay. You show up and he lets you in. So, little girl with a teddy bear.
Yes.
Do you have any other details that you would like to divulge?
She will explain the whole thing.
So you were in my cage that I had him in.
Seemed like it.
Well, if I had to venture a guess, he's trying to lay a trap for not necessarily just you, but all of us.
Right.
Something to keep out for. But as far as that's not what concerns me. And he will pull out a rather old piece of paper. What languages does Tory read?
High and low German, and then she probably could pick up some Latin just because of all the schooling. If not read it, but pick it up, and then English.
Okay. So it is in Latin.
I mean, she could at least recognize the language, I think.
Right. And certain words are close enough to others that you could parse them together. And you kind of come up with list of extermination, maybe. And you see names on it. And at the very end, Cyril kind of takes a pen and circles one. And it's Janina. That is the problem.
The girl.
Yes. Now, the problem isn't necessarily that it's her, because, well, it's just another one of us.
Okay.
The problem is that she supposedly died in 2000.
Lovely.
22 years ago.
I'm assuming she's pretty old.
Not as old as you would expect, however. She is a direct child of the Baron himself.
Fantastic.
Right. She was put on this list because she was neglected. And as such, she did what she needed to get the attention that she wanted.
And a child trapped in a body forever is going to do some crazy things.
Yes, it's theorized that she's of an older a younger generation, lower generation than the Baron himself now.
Even better.
And I believe the Baron is twice removed, if I remember correctly. So that would leave either fourth or third.
That's a scary generation.
That's a problem, that's what that is.
A very large problem.
So not only do we have one, we have two, potentially, poking around, and one is, for lack of a better term, extremely inconspicuous, and nobody would bat an eye.
Yep.
The other, not so much.
Well, I'm not quite sure what to do
Yeah.
here.
What to do is be careful. Don't live in fear, because live in fear, even we can, well, have complications due to it. Just keep an eye open. She might be powerful, but she's still kindred. There are still things that hurt her. There's still things that will kill her.
Of
Properly this
course.
time.
Well, one would hope. You seem to have difficulties with the Baron.
Right, that was purely due to not wanting to waste.
Right?
That being said, that has been taken off the table. It is a destroy on site as needed. I don't have a guaranteed understanding of what he wants or what he'll do. He wants to be a source of discord. He wants to be a problem. Apparently, he spent years nurturing and catering to mortals, young kindred alike, all to have it blow up in his face. And it made him angry. He wasn't a problem until I want to say about the 60s. I don't know what happened.
Mm.
My financier is always had a problem with him because he stands for what they don't. Extending life by unnatural means and controlling that which is supposed to be dead. It's what he likes. It's what he nurtures. They don't like that. I can understand why, and that's why I've allied myself with them.
Just because of the Baron?
Oh, I didn't have any qualms with the Baron until I joined with the new group.
Mm.
To be honest with you, I thought the Baron was a folktale, thing of myth. Turns out, put more stock in what's myth.
So, who ended up thinking they killed her, if you know?
And I will have to do another roll, as well as bring up the page.
I mean, even if the group.
I don't know.
Mm.
I don't remember. I know it was a newly appointed Justicar.
Too bad we can't figure out what they did or what they thought they did. Try and figure out why it didn't work.
I would assume that it's because they are Samidi bloodline.
There's still ways to
I'm
kill
sure they
them.
have some. Right. Just she being as powerful as she has been. I'm sure she's figured out a way to transfer her soul between vessels
Mm,
upon death.
well, looks like we're in for a fun time.
Yes. And
I didn't
hopefully
tell
this
the.
won't be hopefully this won't be too drawn out. I don't like children, and there's a reason for it.
Right. I would rather not deal with them just in general. Never wanted to be around them in the first place. I didn't tell the others. I haven't really mentioned the Baron either.
Perhaps it'd be time for you to at least mention our Asian friend.
What friend?
The Baron. Perhaps keep her under wraps for a while.
And what are you going to do with this information?
Only tell those who need to know. And there's not many that need to know.
Is this something I can expect Hush to start bringing up in whatever meeting they want to have with me?
Oh no, this goes above his head.
Okay.
Their head. It goes above their handler's head. It goes
Lovely.
far above most. So,
I will not be in the city for about a week. In a day or two. So hopefully nothing happens then.
you have somebody that you've appointed to overlook your affairs.
Not anyone in my coterie.
That's probably for the best.
I agree.
One might be trustworthy, but the rest not for that task.
Even if they are trustworthy, I don't trust them to have a handle on things.
That's fair. If there's anything in the meantime that I can help with, by all means, have them reach out to me. Them as a whole, not just the Baron. Oh, well, the standard Baron.
It's the Giovanni contact. I can at least trust him to I can at least trust him to want to make things go smoothly.
Right. I will attempt to reach out. If they need my assistance, I won't say anything if they require it, and use it.
I would appreciate that. I value this unlife I have.
Oh, they're not that scary, are they?
I met with one of their elders.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Please tell me they're at least back home in Italy or Sicily or New York.
I think so, or on their way soon. They just very much wanted me to appoint a baron for them. Thank you, Beth.
And I assume, yes, I assume that none of them know that as well.
No, it was made very clear to me that if they do, I probably will die.
Well, good thing for you, my lips are sealed.
Right. Obviously, I'm not very good at lying, so I needed someone to be able to potentially aid me in this if I needed it. And I'm already deep in with you, so why not?
Right. Good for you, I am very good at lying.
Perks of being what you are.
This is a shame that we both couldn't enjoy the perks. Would rather like to see you like me. However, you like you are still enjoyable.
Definitely not my first choice. A gangrel.
No, of course not. But it's quite alright. Like I said, you like you are is very enjoyable.
I enjoy your company as well. Thank you.
So,
Yes. Should only be out of the city for a week. Hopefully nothing happens then. But I very much wanted to tell you about what I saw.
if things were to happen, I personally will make sure that you are contacted.
Good. I'm going to see the Tremere Regent.
Oh, good. I'm sure that you're going to take away all forms of communication
Most
upon
likely.
entering. They're strict, stupid, really is what it is. But it's fine.
Right. If you can send an animal, I don't know if you can. I know sometimes your clan can.
I cannot, unfortunately.
Oh well.
I can, however, do everything else that we usually are famous for. So if you ever need those services, by all means, that'll be free. It's fun for me.
I bet it is. I've grown accustomed to looking like this, so probably not for a while.
Oh no, for somebody else.
You never know when it's going to be needed.
Yes, very useful tool.
That it is.
So, if there's nothing else,
Other than if you have a cross, because I had not gotten one yet, and it definitely reminded me tonight to get one.
not a cross, but and he pulls out a Star of David.
Sure.
Will this work?
I don't believe in any of them, so as long as it held some belief towards him, by all means.
Well, we will certainly try it, won't we?
Is it
Hand
on
over?
is it on a cord of some sort?
No, it just has the loop at the top.
Why not? He already knows. She'll take off the chain and put it on there.
Okay. you now have a Star of David.
Cool.
It is not actually silver.
That's fine. That's what the locket's for.
Yeah. And you are sent about the rest of your night.
Yep. She will make her way back at least to the sprawl.
So, is there anything else anybody else would like to do?
Just send a quick check-in with Ace.
He sends a selfie in a security guard uniform. He is working at a scrapyard.
Enjoy the new job.
How well? Everything go okay with you?
Scrapyard.
Semi-okay. Some rough patches, but fixed them up.
Okay. If you need an extra set of hands or something like that, let me know.
I will.
Shiloh, Tory.
That's kind of what I was wondering. Cocia. She's asking if it was the brewhouse scrapyard.
No, a different, unrelated one.
I think Tory would just take some time walking, but head back to her haven.
Okay. And then Shiloh.
Shiloh is after we get through painting with Steven, Shiloh's probably gonna make her way back to her apartment. And on the way there, she'll probably send a text to Tory. Hey, I know you're probably busy. You're probably not going to see this, and you're probably not going to want to say anything. But are you okay?
Aren't I always?
Well, if
Yep.
there's anything I can do to help, please tell me. I know I haven't been the biggest help lately, but I want to try.
You can't really change things for me, so I just gotta deal with what I have.
So, if there's nothing else, we will leave our coterie there for tonight. So, first and foremost, I would like to thank everybody for joining us. Then, second order of business it would be announcements. Go to totalpartykrit.com for all of your Total Party Crit wants, needs, and or compulsions if you're a Malkavian. Has all of our bios. There's a little excerpt about all of us, all of the characters, all of the games. You can find links to said games, whether it be a podcasting platform or YouTube or I think that's pretty much it. But one of those two, you can find it there. Along with the links to those, you can find links to, well, first and foremost, our Patreon. We would absolutely love for you to come and support us monetarily. Not only because we're greedy, because I'm greedy, let's be honest here. But also, we put a lot of work into this, and we want to make this as good as we physically can for you. And the only way to really do that is to get a little bit better equipment, get a little bit better programs, and have a little bit more financial freedom to be able to spend more time on this. So that's the pitch for you to come out, and if you can support us on Patreon, do that. If you can't, we get it. We understand. We're not going to hold it against you. Next best way is to tell everybody, whether it be friends, family, acquaintances, or your worst enemy. Tell them that they should come and listen to us and share it and like it and follow it and subscribe to everything that we do, whether it be on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We have a
Spotify.
Twitter, Spotify, um, Amazon Podcast now.
Yes, and iHeart. We're a little bit behind on podcasts still.
Yes.
I've had a lot of things come up in my life recently, but I'm working on getting things caught up.
Yes. So, also give us feedback while you're there. Let us know how we're doing. If there's things that we can improve on, if there's things that we're just knocking out of the park and we should do more of, by all means, let us know. Because again, at the end of the day, we want to make the best physical thing for you that we can. We enjoy doing this, and we would like to keep doing this. So, we appreciate you coming out and listening to us. And if there's nothing else, have a good evening and stay safe.